What's up guys, Zach here from the Chaos Galaxy, and today I'm coming to you with some examples or ideas for galaxies or decks that you could make if you were to have a game of Chaos Galaxy. And yeah, I'm gonna say galaxy instead of deck in this video because I know in most TCGs you use the term deck, but I'm trying to change it to galaxy for this game, just to make it a bit more original. So if I use the word galaxy, I mean deck. Obviously, I know it will be tempting and probably quite good to make a deck based on a whole planet, like, you know, a pure Gaios deck or a pure Sindel deck or whatever. But, you know, I like to get creative with things, and I want you guys to get creative with things too. So I've just got 3 examples here of galaxies that you can make to have an overall strategy for a game, and some quite powerful combos and stuff. So I'll get straight into it with the first one, which I would like to call the Upside Down Galaxy, and it revolves around this card here, the Upside Down Realm. I've talked about it in a few videos, and basically it reverses any card ability that would increase or decrease a creature's power or health. So let's say if a card like Galaxy Saber here reads, the attached creature gains 70 power. If you were to have the Upside Down Realm on your planet, that ability would be changed so that the attached creature loses 70 power. And it's pretty simple really, and basically if you were to make a galaxy based around this card, you'd want to fill your galaxy up with cards like Galaxy Saber and abuse things like a creature here, Meltalon. And Meltalon is a really strong creature. It's got 400 power and 400 health, which is really good for a 6-star. However, at the end of both players' turns it loses 50 power and health. And obviously if you have this on your planet with the Upside Down Realm, it's going to gain 50 power and 50 health instead. So it's a pretty cool combo between these two. And, you know, it can make a Meltalon ridiculously powerful. For the cost of only 6 stars, you can get it up to, you know, 500 health and 500 power by the start of your next turn, which is really cool. And then obviously, you know, you can attach cards like Galaxy Saber or Galactic Helm to your opponent's creatures to make them weaker, instead of making your own stronger. And if your opponent were to use cards like Galactic Saber on their own creatures, you know, it'd make their strategies worse as well. So not only does the Upside Down Realm benefit you, but it could also make some of your opponent's cards completely useless. And another card I thought you could abuse in this with this combo is the combiner creature called Sucker Slug. And basically what he does is, at the end of both players' turns, you must choose 2 creatures on either player's planets, and both those creatures lose 100 power and 100 health. So normally what you're going to do is, if you had Sucker Slug, you'd pick your opponent's creatures and make them weaker. However, you can pick your own Sucker Slug and, say, a Meltalon or something, and just boost it by 100 power and health every turn. So yeah, that could be a pretty deadly deck, a pretty deadly galaxy to use, I think. There are 2 weaknesses to it. The first one isn't so much of an issue, and that is if your Upside Down Realm gets killed, then that would make your Meltalon's power and health go back down from its ability. And it's not really an issue for cards like Galactic Saber because, you know, just instead of attaching it to your opponent's creatures to make them weaker, you're just going to have to attach it to your own creatures to make them stronger, which, you know, that isn't a bad thing because that's what the card's supposed to do in the first place. And then you're going to have to use Sucker Slug to make and try and target your opponent's creatures to make them weaker, so that's not really an issue. But the main issue that I thought of is, because Meltalon is a Shios creature, you're going to want to be using the planet Shios in your galaxy. But what the planet Shios does, annoyingly for this combo, it says all Shios creatures on your planet gain 50 power, which would normally be great. However, if you have the Upside Down Realm out, then it's just going to reduce your creature's power by 50. So you might not want to choose the planet Shios if you were using a galaxy based around the Upside Down Realm. So anyway, that's the first unconventional galaxy idea that I thought of. The second one is based around this guy here, Tonix, who's a really rare card. He's only got 4 stars and 160 power and 200 health. But what he does is, every time he attacks, so it doesn't have to just be an attack on a creature, it can be a straight attack, he gains 50 power and health afterwards. And now at first this might seem a bit slow because, you know, you'd have to wait 4 or 5 turns for him to get a really strong power and health. But there are things that you can do to speed that up, like this card here, Blaze Elixir, reads that the attached creature can battle twice per battle stage. So if you attach it to Tonix, he attacks twice, that means he's gaining 80 power and health per turn. So you could get him onto something like, 240 power and 280 health in one turn, which is really powerful for a 4-star. Also, because he's only 4 stars, it means you can take advantage of using cards like Bullwarder, which is a really good card. However, it does have a slight restriction which would hurt some other decks. And it reads, when a creature on your planet with 5 stars or less would be killed, you can kill Bullwarder instead. So you can protect your Tonix whilst it's still weak, and then which gives it some time to make a few attacks, get it strong enough so it can survive on its own, and then if it would be killed, you kill Bullwarder instead. You can also use this card here, Warp Hole Territory, which is a rare permanent resource card which reads, creatures with 5 stars or more can't enter battle zones. Now, if you have a Tonix that has, say, the power and health of, that's the equivalent of like a 7-star creature or something, it's only a 4-star, so it can still enter battle zones, but your opponent's monsters that are anywhere near as strong as Tonix won't be able to. So that's really good. It's also a Syndian creature, so you can use it in combination with cards like Orbov and the planet Syndian itself, which reads, if you have 2 Syndian creatures on your planet, your opponent can't attack the one with the lowest health. So if you have a Tonix on really high stats, you can have as many weak Syndian creatures on your planet that won't be able to get killed as long as your Tonix is alive. So that's really good. And then also you can use cards like Divine Doom, as this probably would be a slightly Syndian themed deck. Divine Doom's a really powerful card which reads, kill a Syndian creature in your hand to kill every creature on your opponent's planet, which just leaves a clear path for your Tonix to make some attacks and gain its power and health, and increase its power and health. So that is Galaxy idea number 3. The final one, now this is a pretty funny one. I'd say if you were to use this Galaxy, you'd be really trolling on your opponent. And what it does is, it revolves around this card here, Parallel Universe. And Parallel Universe reads, when it's played, both players switch galaxies, planets, hands, zones, dead creatures, and planet cards, and planet cards, and it's a permanent resource, so it stays on your planet, or it'll then become your opponent's planet, and you get what I mean. But then at the end of each of your opponent's turns, you swap back again. So basically you're giving your opponent all of your cards for a while. And then what you're going to do is, you're going to fill up your whole galaxy, or your whole deck, with really weak, crappy creatures that aren't really much use to anyone. Well, they would be useful in other situations, but not this particular situation. So like 1-star creatures with really low power and health, or just parts of combiner creatures without using the other part. So they are literally the most useless things in the game. And then you're going to play all these weak cards, give them all to your opponent, take all your opponent's strong cards, and then just kill your opponent with their own cards, and it would be quite hilarious. However, the problem I've thought of with this Galaxy is, if you don't draw into Parallel Universe, or if you can't get to it for a good amount of time, you are going to be stuck with the worst cards in the game, which is a very big problem. But apart from that, it could be a really fun deck, and a good way around a lot of other Galaxies that, your opponent would normally hammer you with. So yeah, those were my ideas for some Galaxies. Let me know if you thought of any more Galaxy ideas from seeing my cards in past videos. I'd really love to hear any examples that you can think of. I've just thought of these off the top of my head, and although I know pretty much everything about the game because I invented it, I'm sure you can think of some combos that I haven't thought of. And yeah, please let me know if you've thought of any cool combos. Please like, comment, subscribe, and look forward to my next video, which should hopefully be a mega pack opening with my friends, so we can actually make our own Galaxies and have some games. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.